Alright. I think we left off here. We did Raz and then now we're here, right?
Yep, that is
Okay.
correct.
I'm fresh as a sausage again, so we can hop
Whoa.
right into it.
Pause.
We have Manchester Umbreons. Don't know who the coach is.
Austin.
Okay. But we have Tapu Lele, Heatran, Rotom Wash. I'm gonna just start naming every mon before I only I tried to do the course, but that's kind of stupid. So I'm just gonna read everything. Rotom Wash, Noivern, Mega Tyranitar, Landorus Eye, Superior, Dusclops, Pessimian, Weezing, Ditto. My first question is, but I think it's answered by the points. Just no Sand Force and what's it called? No Sheer Force, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for 13 points. I'm just gonna look real quick, but has to be right.
Yeah, it's not Sheer Force.
Okay. Then I think looking at it, immediately, of course, what stands out to me, because I always want to drafted it but never got to, but definitely want to. Mega Tyranitar, such a cool mon, and it's just its stats are so strong, plus the sand you're gonna be in like 80% of the time with a special defense boost, so good. And then you have, I think, Sand Force otherwise with Landorus Eye, right? Is it Sand Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's nice too. I like to see the Dusclops, fan of that. And the Ditto, so it's definitely an interesting squad. The speed tier looks good too. You have Noivern, Landorus Eye at I think 111, or is it 101? I'm not sure. 111, right?
Oh, which one?
Landorus Eye.
Yeah, it's 101.
Okay. And then Superior. So you have these three are. Well, why does it always happen that I say like the speed tier is great and then I read the actual mons and I think, wait, they're not great.
I think they're fine.
It's solid. Like 3 mons, that's fine. I don't think. Yeah, he has only the Landorus Eye to abuse the sand, so maybe he could have like put a little more into that, for my taste. I know you shouldn't make yourself so dependent on your weather you're drafting. You need to have a plan outside of that, but you could have had like one more, I don't know, Sand Rush, the dog that gets the ability, like one more. Yeah, like another abuser would be cool for my taste.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's still scary to face, Sand Force Landers.
Yeah.
And like you said, I've also wanted to try Mega Tyranitar before. It has really good stats, and then with Dragon Dance too, it's just really scary.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, something like, I mean, I love Ditto, but maybe grabbing like Stoutland instead and maybe another Mon would have been better for this, because I mean, it's not that those two are bad, but I mean, maybe something else to help with sand.
Yeah, let's actually look at it. If there's anything in tier 8 that can abuse it. Doesn't look like it right here. Maybe a bit cheaper. Because I think, yeah, as I said, if you.
I mean, Lycanroc Midday has Sand Rush.
Ash. Well, that then. I guess the double rock doesn't add that much, but yeah. Otherwise, you have also the Tapu Lele, which is of course always a threat. And I drafted it once, I think last season, but immediately traded it for Gardevoir, so I never got to use it. it's interesting that it's like legal now, because when it got introduced, it was like hardcore banned in pretty much every league. And what changed? Like now it's allowed. That's interesting.
Yeah, it might be the terrain nerf and also a bit of power creep from the new mons that got introduced, as well as having no HP. It really hurts it.
Well, that was a good explanation.
I do think it's overpriced. I don't think it's 17 anymore. I've used it once before. It was underwhelming. Not that it's bad, but I don't think it is what it was last generation. I think 16 would be a better price for it, but I digress.
Yeah, maybe. As I said, never used it. For me, it always, or I guess not only for me, but like what was good about it was always the moves it could use, because it makes it hard to switch into. I think it gets Focus Blast and Thunderbolt too, so its coverage is good in that department, because like even a Steel type doesn't want to either Focus Blast. So I think, yeah, I like the team. I like particular mons, like the Tyranitar is cool, Landorus Eye is cool. I like the Dusclops. Yeah, the Persimmon is a baller too. So overall, I like it. As I said, one more abuser would be like maybe good for my taste.
What do we have for hazards here? We have Rocks on Heatran, Tyranitar, Landorus, I think. Toxic Spikes, Wheezing.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent actually. I mean, you got plenty of rock users, only one Toxic Spike, so I think the hazards are okay. I think rocks are the main one you want to look at, and then hazard control you have
No
I think
spinner.
decent one too. No spinner, yeah, that's unfortunate. But you have a few.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing that's I always find weird. I mean, my hazard control is trash too, but if you have like a rock team, Mega Tyranitar, Heatran, Endless Eye, you're probably going to want to set rocks, and you always don't want to eat rocks. So why not get a Rapid Spinner? Even something like Excadrill, which obviously doesn't want to run Rapid Spin most of the time, but I'm guessing that the sand was like just a secondary plan, because maybe he had to look at his points, because those were his 4 picks, and then he drafted like this little sand thingy. So yeah.
Defog also sucks because you get rid of your own terrain, which isn't the worst in this case, but yeah.
So those are definitely the two. If you don't want to say anything else, but otherwise.
No, I just think, I mean, Dusclops is interesting. It used to be really good in Gen 5 UU. That's where I used it the most. But that's a long time from now. But yeah, no.
It's funny because earlier today I actually, like, just for fun, tried to plan a little like Mega Tyranitar team, and the first thing I put on my hypothetical team was Dusclops, because I think they pair up nicely, because the one thing Dusclops doesn't want is a knockoff, obviously, and Mega Tyranitar is, like, on paper one of the best of course knockoff switch-ins, because it resists high defense and its item can't get removed. Also, what doesn't Mega Tyranitar like? Fighting, and Dusclops is immune, so the synergy is, in my opinion, quite crisp. So again, I like it. But yeah, the Z moves make sense too. Not much to talk about there, I think. Yeah. What I like are the mons I mentioned, the synergies, one more abuser maybe, and get the Rapid Spinner so you don't defog your own stuff away.
Yeah, just really, really good team. I know that's probably the thing I said the most, but a good team overall.
11 minutes for one team, why not? Alright, moving on to the Colorado Aggrons, of course, the team of the almighty Khan. and Papa of the league, Djingis.
Woo, Djingis.
Hi. We have Dragapult, Mega Gardevoir, Toxapex, Incineroar, Jirachi, Tsarina, Gligar, Girder, Blissey, Rotomfrost, Basculin, Whirlipede. And the first thing I'm gonna say, because I said it to him already in the draft. What the fuck? Why do you Whirlipede? Does it maybe because of toxic spikes? But yeah, that's a weird bring. And again, even though I like the Basculin just because of like meme reasons, this is one of the situations where you could maybe pool in these two and get a 5-point Pokemon instead. Yeah, but apart from that, he obviously has the Dragapult. Many would say the best Mon in the format right now. I don't like it, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Very fast, obviously, but as we all know, Djingis, that's like his only speedy Mon. He's like 143, and then the next thing is like Mega Gardevoir and Jirachi at 100, I think. So good job there, Djingis. And
Classic.
Classic, yeah. Otherwise, the Blissey, of course, the second best special wall in the game, not bad. I love the Incineroar, have it on my team too. Really versatile, lots of great moves. Heavy duty boots or assault vest is always a nice bring. Tsarina is kinda trash, but that's just my opinion. But at least for a change, someone who has a rapid spinner, so good job. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, just the main thing I noticed also that speed gap is really bad. you go from base 142 to base 100. That's gonna be
yeah.
That's gonna be probably the biggest issue here. I also noticed that two of his like main defensive mons, well, I guess not really Girder, but you know, two mons that you know hate having their Eviolite knocked off. You have you have like one really decent knockoff switch in, which is Incineroar. What else? I mean, offensively, this team is really good. It's another one that I look at, and aside from like Dragapult and like, you know, maybe the lower end mons, the cheaper ones, it's pretty bulky offense. You have like Mega Gardevoir, which I know doesn't have like the best HP or defense, but you know, that base 135s, but that is really gonna help it sponge hits. I got Jirachi, of course, with the base 100 everywhere. Incineroar, bulky as well. Girder, of course.
Yeah. I guess you're right that it's a team that's weak to knockoff. Like Dragapult, well, you're probably not gonna switch in Dragapult so loosely, but still, Dragapult, yeah, toxic kinda, but Jirachi is weak to it. Gligar, Eviolite, another Eviolite. At least it's not Chansey, but yeah. And those two, yeah, whatever. I said it before, I like the Rotomfrost, just throwing that in there. I think it's a really great dual stab. Let's continue. I think Toxapex plus Blissey is gonna be extremely exhausting to fight against. I don't know what if you don't have like Mega Gallade, I guess.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, then you're just gonna spend 20 turns between like fighting types versus Toxapex, etc. So, Djingis, why always these fat annoying teams? I think this is actually like the all in good what you call it, no bad blood or anything, but this is one of the few teams I actually kinda don't like, because I like individual mons. As I said, I like Incineroar, I like Mega Gardevoir, another one I always wanted to use but never got to. Girder is cool and Blissey and Rotten Frost. Like, I like these mons individually, but together it's just not like my type of team, I guess. It feels weird. As I said, I think Serena is trash. So, in the interest of not calling every single team in this in this draft like good, I'm gonna say I don't quite like this team.
I don't think it's that bad. But I do really like that I was noticing the momentum here is really, really good, which is probably the biggest plus of this team. You got U-turn Dragapult. You got, I mean, if you really want to teleport Gardevoir, Parting Shot into Aurora, U-turn Jirachi, U-turn Serena. I think Gligar gets U-turn.
Yeah. Or
Blissey teleport.
Gliscor gets it. I don't know if Gligar. I guess too. Yeah.
I am pretty sure Gligar gets it too. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then Bolt Switch Rotom Frost. So that's really going to be like, I think the main thing you're going to want to do with this team, just keep up the momentum, get in like Dragapult or Gardevoir, and then just wreak havoc. But yeah, I do agree with Lorz's points, but I still think this team can put in the work. Just, it's going to be really tedious for you having your opponent be able to run like plus attack nature rather than plus speed natures most of the time. But I think you can work around it.
Just to point that out, like, it's not bad. I just don't like it. So that's every team here in this draft is at least okay or like solid, like automatically. But yeah, I'm gonna be a bit harsher now because like I wouldn't want to use this team with yeah. Z Dragapult, of course. Yep. You can talk if I talk, and then we talk at the same time. You are allowed to say something.
Oh, I know. I know. Just don't want to cut you off.
Alright. Well, Jirachi, I guess, again, because of lack of other options, you probably don't want to Z your Rotom Frost. So, yeah.
I think Incineroar would have been good here too for the offensive. You got also if you want to run like Insanium C, and also the Parting Shot would have been nice for this team since it's rather bulky.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, it's of course not a bad team. Mega Dragapult, of course, gonna be get lots of kills.
Mega Dragapult. That's a new mon I haven't heard of.
Did I say that? I don't know.
You said Mega Dragapult.
Well, Dragapult is Mega, and your defense is good too. I guess what you're lacking is a physical breaker. And like a bit of, and your speed, of course. So I think you're gonna have problems offensively. I don't think like Mega Gardevoir and Dragapult are like good enough every week, mainly because like because of your speed. Like cleaning stuff is gonna be hard. Stuff that's gonna have like a lot of recovery, it's gonna be bad. Otherwise, yeah, knockoff week. Pros that were like are the pros of and cons I'm seeing here. Man, I can't speak today. It's crazy. Moving on, Liverpoleon. I guess Liverpoleon FC. Coach. He has the Mega Gallade, Aegislash, Gliscor, Vaporeon, Tyrantrum, Tangrowth, Volcarona, Sneasel, Toxtricity, Wigglytuff, Carco. I think people who say Gliscor are weird. Like, why would you say Gliscor? That's, well, something else. He, of course, too has the Mega Gallade, so if
watch out, Djingis.
Yeah, if these two battle, then and the shadow priority thing for the Dragapult, so I've heard that Volcarona is trash now, but I guess in this league, since you have Z moves and you put Volcarona as your Z user, it's still good. and I like it, but I've heard bad tongues have said that it's not really that great anymore. Other than that, I think that you should talk.
Just bouncing off that really quick, I really disagree with Volcarona being your C user, mainly because I think you always want to run boots on Volcarona, and just if you give it the C, I mean, of course it's good, right, if you set up with Quiver Dance, but the thing is, heavy duty boots you can always switch in for free, like not having to worry about rocks. Whereas of now, if you bring your C, then you really have to worry about stealth rocks, especially because your removal isn't good. You have Gliscor, you have Volcarona itself, which I mean, of course not, and then you have Rapid Spin Karkle, which I mean, if you bring Karkle, well, I respect it. I like Karkle, but
that's definitely something that stands out here. You have Gliscor for defog, but nothing else. And again, Gliscor or just having defog limits you in that way, especially when you want Volcarona to have success. You like want to weaken stuff, even if you have it as a Z attacker. And I have heard that I haven't used Volcarona in a long time, but things I have heard is that you kinda have to or want to have it as your Z user because it's gonna have trouble otherwise, but maybe I'm wrong. Discuss in the comments. Alright, then we have so that's something that immediately stands out, like bad hazard control plus the Volcarona. Tough. Because you could argue that it's not that like dramatic if you're running heavy duty boots, but you also have it as your Z user, so that's like a bit contradictory. That's not a word, right? So that no, you know.
Yeah, contradictory.
It is a word?
I think.
Sorry for
raw footage.
I can't even spell it.
No cuts.
Contradict. I can't even spell it. So, oh wow, I'm so good at English. Other stuff. Gliscor is really good in general. Like it. Good synergy with Vaporeon. You wanted to say about the speed?
Yeah, like your fastest mon is Sneasel, which isn't. I mean, hits 361, I believe, but no elite speed is always a negative.
Yeah, and then Mega Gallade is the only other mon. Is Volcarona 100? It is, right?
Yeah, it's base 100.
Yeah, so again, there are definitely parts that are lacking in this draft. Positive is it's definitely very threatening, like offensively, because you have Mega Gallade, you have Aegislash, you have Tyrantrum, Volcarona, Sneasel, Boom Bursts from Toxicity. So you're gonna have a very hard time switching into things and like letting things set up. Again, Aegislash, Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, Quiver Dance. Yeah, so really threatening offensively. Let's look at momentum then.
It's not
lacking.
The best either. Yeah, you got Flip Turn, Vaporeon, U-Turn, Gliscor, Volt Switch, Toxtricity. Does Wigglytuff get teleport? I don't think so, but let me check.
I have no idea.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. But then again, it's like check-off picks, I think. When are you like Wigglytuff? Maybe, but Karkle, come on. So
I can really see this team. I think I know the Karkle pick. You need a 1-pointer. It gives you the hazard stat you're lacking. How I see this team being played the most I don't think it's full on hyper offense, but I feel
Yeah.
you're constantly gonna bring hyper offense. You lead with Caracos at your hazards, and then just go into your setup or breakers and hope for the best. I think that's how this team is gonna probably work the best.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be, as you said, the game plan. Just overwhelm your opponent with strong attacks and setup. Yeah, I mean, which is something to play. Again, you of course can lose to this because it's so threatening. But again, kind of bad hazard control in general, because you don't have good setters too. Of course, you have Gliscor, but that's it, I think, because I don't even know if Tyrantrum gets Stealth Rocks, but you're not gonna want to use that. So kind of bad hazards like control and setting. Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, you want to run setup, like you mentioned.
This like bit of contradictory, as the expert would say, with Volcarona, boots, hazards, but then Z, and you may struggle to like get in your offensive threats because of not the best momentum. It's okay, but like you can only have 4 moves on the Gliscor, Flip Turn and Toxicity, which both are kind of slow. So those are the bad points in my opinion. Good points, of course, probably like quantity-wise, one of the most threatening teams offensively. You have so many mons that can just sweep you on their own.
Very scary offense. I will say that Vaporeon Tangrowth defensive core is going to be really annoying to take care of. I will give you that as well. Flip turning into Tangrowth or wishing into flip turn Tangrowth, it's already really bulky, but it's going to be really annoying. Like your opponent might think, "Oh, I'm so close to getting rid of Tangrowth," and then with that regenerator and then wishing into it, taking any hit and then being almost back to full is going to be really, really annoying. I feel that's going to, I mean, your only other real walls are like Wigglytuff, so this is pretty obvious to say, but your defense is going to rely heavily on that and Gliscor, which to be fair, Gliscor does like not having hidden power ice around.
Yeah, that's true. These 3 complement each other pretty nicely.
I think it's a team that has a lot of flaws. Yeah. Or I think it's a really good thing here. The highs are really high, but the lows are really low.
Yeah. Moving on to the Philadelphia Phrillish next. That's Termnal. Fun fact, he was the first ever, like my first ever opponent in Draft League Season 1 PSL. And I won that. So nice to see him back, of course. We have Victini, Dracovish, Regieleki, Hippowdon, Celesteela, Mega Altaria, Minilax, Silvally, Ribombi, Quagsire. And right off the bat, like first impression, I like it, because this is again a team where I feel like every mon is viable. The least, maybe that's just taste, but Vanillax is always iffy to me personally. Some people like it, but other than that, every mon like can probably come almost every week. Maybe not Quagsire, but yeah, feels compact again. This is definitely a trend I see with people only drafting like 10 mons, and spreading the points across these 10. Kinda creates a more compact team, like in my opinion. Because then you don't draft something like Whirlipede and Karkle and Baskin. Of course, Victini, Dracovish, Regieleki, again, very threatening offensively. I like the combination of Regieleki and Dracovish. If you don't have Seismitoad, then you're kinda screwed. So I like that. If you have Seismitoad, looking at Dave, or wait, that's not his division. Someone for sure has Seismitoad. Then that's gonna be probably tough. Because you don't have a grass type, I'm noticing right now. So that's a pretty big, like, niche, but still pretty big flaw I'm noticing as I'm speaking. You don't have a grass type except Silvally Grass, which is viable, but still. So something like Seismitoad is just probably gonna ruin you, because of course you can run something like Energy Ball, but Victini is weak to Seismitoad in general, so you see what I'm getting at here? Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. What are you saying? No. Okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm a huge fan of this team. This is one of my favorite teams, honestly. I feel one of its biggest strengths is your opponents every week are gonna have to be like, are they bringing Sand with Dracovish, or are they bringing Webs with Dracovish? They're gonna have to prep for both scenarios, which not every team can handle. Some teams are gonna have to hope for the best, flip a coin, prepare for Sticky Webs or prepare for Sand. And Sand Dracovish is really scary. People argue that Scarf is better or banned, but the thing with Sand is that not having to be locked into a move is really nice. Especially, is Mystic Water should be allowed, right? It's not banned for some reason.
Mystic Water?
Yeah.
Let's look at.
I don't think it is.
Is that the item? What?
Yeah, it's an item.
Is that like the thing that you get with cast form in Emerald, like from the way? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's 20%, not 10.
Yeah. Because like Mystic Water, Fish's Rend, if you're going first, it's still really nice, even if you don't have Strong Jaw.
It does miss a little bit. You're giving me ideas if he doesn't know it already.
It is missing that bit of an oomph with Strong Jaw, but I think it's worth being able to switch up moves. You know, if something switches in that, you know, maybe like, I don't know, a Water Absorb Mon or whatever, and it's already weakened, you can finish it off with like Outrage or something else. And also being able to do, I think a set that people don't really use often that I really like is Defensive Dracovish. Is actually pretty good. Because since it has access to Super Fang, you can do something like Super Fang and then Fish's Rend, especially on monsters that are slower. That's going to be really good. I think, at least. I know I've used it before to counter Melmetal. As weird as it sounds, it's really good against Melmetal. Super Fang into Fish's Rend.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, having the fastest Pokemon in the game is always nice too.
Yeah, you have Webs and Regieleki. That's brutal. Like, what's gonna outspeed that?
It's pretty Chad energy.
What's the ice move called? Here.
Aurora Veil?
Freeze Dry. Funny enough, you're pretty weak to Freeze Drive. You have Dracovish and Quagsire. And then again, as I said, that's something like that stood out to me. Linux has, I don't know if he knew that, calculated that or something, but other than Freeze Dry Vanillux, as I said, you're gonna have trouble with Quagsire's Seismitoads, especially Seismitoad. Yeah. Otherwise, again, nice type coverage, like nice type synergies. Celesteela, like Fire Electric, but having the Powder and the Draco Wish. Silvally is always useful. Yeah, especially like having to, or the being able to parting shot into Regieleki, Mega Altaria, Dracovish, Victini. That's gonna be strong. Plus Webs potentially, yeah. Speed tiers is kind of all over the place again, because you have like 100, you have Sand, but you know, the fastest mon in the game, and 124 I think.
Yeah, 124.
Yeah, but 95, and again with the sand. Mega Altaria is what, 80?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually not that bad. The speed tiers are, I like it. With 10 mons, it's actually quite good, I guess.
The main flaw is going from Rabombi to, I think, Victini? Or Silvally? No, Victini.
Yeah.
And hazards are, you have one rocker and one sticky web user.
Yeah,
which, yeah, it's not the best.
Again, you have, like, we're seeing this a lot, because, of course, there aren't that many great spinners. We have Regieleki, which is actually kind of decent as a spinner because it's so fast, and that's one of its strengths. It doesn't have to always be attacking. The speed makes it good, so rapid spin is solid on it. And it's good to have that you have one, because I think sticky webs is gonna be a big part of this team. Looking at Megataria, Victini, and perhaps Dracovish. So I like this team. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more I like it. Probably one of my, probably one of, like, top 5, maybe even top 3 teams so far, like, as a whole draft. I like it.
I would agree with you as well. This is definitely, I'm not sure if I would call it the best, but in terms of just how it's gonna work and what it has, it's definitely in my top 3 or top 5 as well. I'm a really, really big fan of this team. I really, really like it. It looks extremely fun and something I would definitely draft.
What do you think about Z-Attack Regieleki?
Risky. Very, very risky. Because 99% of the time, you don't know. I mean, yeah, it's it's gonna be like electric or normal moves. Although, I guess it could be interesting seeing like Z Acrobatics or Z Ancient Power or something. Well, it gets Assurance too, so I guess it has like some moves.
Yeah.
I don't really know how I feel about this one.
The thing, usually I wouldn't like it as a Z on most teams, but since this offensive core is so good, in my opinion, because again, Regieleki, what do you need for it? You need something to take care of ground types, Dracovish, and you need something to take care of like grass types, even though it gets acrobatics, but still. I'd say those are like the 2 things, and you have Victini. So I really, really like this offensive core. You like can just, as they sometimes say in German, löt in with these 2. What does löten mean? Löten? Soldering. That doesn't sound nice. In with these 2, and then clean with Regieleki, and then the Z attack, like electric move, is kind of good, because you're gonna nuke without risking like the situation, because these 2 take care of it. I like this a lot. Kind of wrapping it up now. I like the defensive synergies with Quagsire. Grass, of course, but you have the Celesteela. Electric Fire, but you have Pardon and Dracovish. Like, I'm a fan of these types of synergies. And the Mega Altaria, which can function, like, in this team, I see Mega Altaria more like a cleric. Heal bells and stuff. Well, not a cleric, I think it doesn't get wish, but like supporty. And then you have the wild card that is Silvally, and you have Sticky Web, so this is definitely one in my top 3 favorite teams so far.
I think the biggest strength of this team is going to be in your opponent's team building, because this team can do so much. They're going to have to think, Is it gonna be Scarpatini? Is it gonna be Bandit? Is it gonna be Special? Is it gonna be mixed? And they're gonna have to think of Dracovish. Is it gonna be Scarf or Bandit? Is it gonna be with Sand?
Yeah.
Is it gonna come with Webs? And then they're always gonna have to be worried about Reggie Alecki. And then there's also how you said the wildcard Sobali. They're gonna have to be like, oh, what if they bring a setup with this type or this type or this type?
Absolutely.
And then there's also Benelux, which is another thing to add for the team. You know, Aurora Veil. They're gonna think, okay, so what if they bring Veil, or what if they bring Sticky Web? What if they bring all of them? Like, I'm talking really fast, but the thing is, sorry about that.
Yeah.
This team has so much it can do. It is so versatile. You are never gonna be 100% sure what's coming, and
True.
I think that's why I really like this team and why it's one of the best. It can do so much.
I didn't even have that in mind. Aurora Veil, of course. That's like even better. This is. I think this just became my favorite team so far.
It's definitely up there for me.
The only criticism I can think of is probably, the only thing I can think of is like you don't have a grass type. But that's also half true because you can just run grass already for something like Seismitoad. So yeah, nice, good job. Moving on, because we are at 44. Jesus Christ. We're getting
real quick.
slower and slower and slower. We have covered 4 teams. Damn. Alcoholic Alomomolas and Coach Lippe, of course. Another German, and I know everyone hates it when I start speaking German. Aber für Lippe mache ich mal eine Ausnahme, weil der freut sich, glaube ich, immer, wenn er ein bisschen Deutsch hört in diesem englischen Server. Alright. He has Mega Morwile, Mandibuzz, Manaphy, Mamoswine, Mienshao, Mesprit, Miltank, Magmortar, Mantine, Mimikyu, Magneton, Mr. Rhyme. Which is, of course, as you can notice, only drafting mons with M. Which is, of course, quite the big dick energy, if I have to say.
I respect it. I really respect it.
And, of course, he is the reigning champion. Haven't mentioned that so far. But still, we have to rate it, even though, of course, only drafting mons with M. Let's see if it turned out good. Mega Mobile, very good, of course. 18 tier point, very scary. Yeah, Mega Mandibuzz, really good also. Manaphy, nerfed, but in my opinion still solid. Just does something different, but I like it. And of course, Mamoswine, best dual coverage in the game. Really like it. Mienshao, I really like it. Miltank, Mantine. This man is like trying to get in my pants because look at all the ones he's drafting. Love the Mamoswine, love the Mienshao, love the Miltank, Mantine. I think you have to take it from here before I ask for his number or something.
Well, yeah, like you said, Mega Mawile, always extreme scary mon. Especially with Mamoswine, which is also an amazing mon. You got 2 really, really good breakers. On the physical offense side, it's going to be really, really scary for your opponent having to prep for both Mega Mawile and Mamoswine. And then, of course, you have Mienshao, which is also a scary mon. Pretty close to being a breaker, to be honest. I mean, if you have Reckless, that high jump kick is really going to hurt.
Yeah, 120 attack.
And
yeah.
You also have on the special end, Magmortar, which can definitely be a breaker as well. It's really strong Fire Blast. I think it's a mon that people don't really consider much, but I think it's a really underrated threat. I did notice right away that, quite frankly, your speed is bad in the sense that you have nothing, not even elite speed, but also nothing like fast. Like your fastest mon, I believe, is Mienshao.
105, yeah.
Which is